I'm going to read this because sometimes my mind wanders because I'm old, and well, I keep on point. After the ordinance is passed, we will be heading into not just a storm, but a hurricane of additional work and priorities. As not to inundate Jesse and Clint with requests, it would be critical to streamline processes. One way to work toward that goal is to follow the guidelines of the personnel policy. Nothing has changed except employees will take direction for office functionality. Nothing has changed except employees will take direction for office functionality and additional hours to be approved from the SEO as per resolution. Communication with the board members on projects and meetings will remain the same. So as stated in the Personnel Policy Manual Resolution number 2016-002, to manage the day-to-day affairs of the Board of Directors will designate a supervising elected official, an SEO, by resolution by naming the board member, the chairperson of the board, who shall have the responsibility and the authority to manage the affairs and direct the employees of Bayview Water and Sewer, consistent with all the duly adopted policies. The primary and significant purpose of this action by resolution is to ensure that employees know to whom they should report, address questions, get information, and from whom they shall receive the direction of the board of directors. Now, I think the originators of this resolution were really smart. Those board members knew that having more than one direct report would be problematic, not only for employees, but for board members, having a say in what should happen to the day-to-day functions of the office. My expertise and strengths are streamlining processes, public relations, and office management. That's why I joined the board, and that's why I was appointed. As far as the financial, legal issues, and system operations, I support board members and staff and the experts in those fields and give them feedback when I can. Now, I want you to remember, we all know that there's a $3.4 million project to manage, and without clear direction to the staff, this process could go sideways very quickly, as even stated by our council. I would ask, as the CEO, that you would support me in managing the office as stated in the resolution. Of course, any revision that the resolution to that resolution on how the SEO and employees should function would be up for the board to consider. So it's really just a review that, and really for Sean and for Clint, you know, that the SEO manages the day-to-day affairs.
I don't think that's what it says. It says it manages the affairs of the employees and directs the employees.
This is,
I have it right here.
is it on?
Yeah, it says affairs, and the modifier is an employee. It's an employee manual. If you look up the board of directors as authority and duty to establish general and administrative policy, this personnel policy is only for personnel matters. It does not give you the authority to set administrative policy.
I'm not saying that.
That's what I just understood you said.
I'm reading from the Personnel Policy Manual Resolution.
Right. I have that right here. And it's to manage the affairs and direct the employee affairs. Okay. As long as we understand that. Okay.
I am kind of confused. So, for me, are you saying it's like day to day? I would ask you like what I'm supposed to do,
No.
what we're doing for that day, or that's why I'm just
No.
kind of confused on like.
No, Jesse's your supervisor. I'm here to ensure that the employees know to whom they should report to, address questions, get information, and from whom they shall receive the direction of the board of directors. So if the board of directors wants a particular function to happen in the office, they would tell me, and I would go to the staff and make sure that happens. It's just really kind of a messenger. The SEO is not has no power except to help the office function properly. That's all it's saying.
How about working for you guys?
I feel like I'm currently struggling to get daily or monthly or weekly things done currently. I feel like I'm fighting to do my job, and a lot of times I'm given direction that are conflicting with district deadlines, and it's a struggle for me currently.
Well, that's something we need to talk about. We need
Yes,
to talk
I
about
feel like
that.
we've had multiple conversations. I've also put an email and nothing.
Okay, well, that's something we need to talk about. All I'm stating is that I'm the SEO, and as the personnel policy manual resolution states, the primary and significant purpose of this action by resolution is to ensure that the employees know whom they should report to, address questions, get information, and from whom they shall receive the direction of the board of directors. I'm just following the resolution. That's all I'm asking, to get support in doing that. Whether we're doing it well, that's besides the point. That's something we need to work on. But to follow the resolution. Now, of course, if the board wants to change that, if that particular piece of the resolution, you're more than welcome to. But as far as it stands right now, this is the resolution.
So can I ask you what that means to us then, for how do we effectively manage all of the stuff that has been delegated to us to give support? And I think the problem that I had with that is initially you asked me to set priorities when I was giving them to you, which I had done, and we were kind of all working it together. And then something happened, I have no idea, a couple of weeks ago, when you informed me I could no longer be involved in that. Don't you interrupt me, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Jesse was present at the meeting, you called a big Zoom meeting. I also have a email that you sent me previously that said you no longer wanted me to do that I could send them to you, but you would be the only one that would decide what she would do and when she would do it, and I'll be glad to look that up.
I have that with me,
To you.
Colleen. I have that with me.
Then what happened is we took the list that I had given you, which was for priorities for the office, to go to the office manager because she manages the office as far as I still know. And it is her job to work with Clint, who reports to her, and they will figure out how these priorities are going to be met. And the next thing I know is I get an email from you that says, Colleen, I want you to take this priority you did, and I want to get, I think your name at once was on there, was taken off, and then I want to get Clint this, and I want to give somebody this. And I said, no, and that's what the meeting went south, because I said, no, I will not be involved in that type of situation, because once we take responsibility and start assigning her work to other people, there's no chain of authority, which means we have absolutely no responsibility. So our ability, this board, to manage the office is gone. So that's my question to you. I will not participate in that type of micromanaging.
Colleen, really?
You look at that list that you sent out. If I needed a visual aid for micromanaging, I would use that list.
It
You
was just
asked me for that, I gave it to you, and you assigned it to everybody.
I didn't assign
except the
anything.
gardener.
I did not assign anything to
Do
anybody.
you have that?
I have it right
I-
here. I have it right here. I
Okay.
didn't assign anything to anybody.
Two.
All I did was say, ask Jessie, where is she on this? Give me an update. She gave me an update. I don't know why
what
this,
you're talking about, but
I never said
Okay.
to you, I can read it, you know, I never said to you, don't do this or don't do that. All I said to you was, and let me find it, hold on. I said, I like that you're sending a priority list, but I don't think Jessie needs 2 people overseeing her flow. Just send me what you think needs immediate attention for the week, and I'll go over it with Jessie. If you still feel the need to have a Zoom meeting, tomorrow is fine with me. That's all I said. And
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about then your
That's what-
subsequent, listen to me, please. Ally, I don't know why we're even trying to talk with you. Well, let's talk.
I let you talk. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
sent out, I gave you the priorities. Jessie, would you give that email that said,
I have it right here.
following the priorities, then she sent this thing out that said, I want you to do this, and, you know, give this to Clint, and do this, and do that. And I said, whoa. And that's all I'm saying is, no, I don't agree with that management. There's no accountability. Our priorities are to go to her. She is to use the resources that she has to get our priorities met. Once we start saying, no, I'm giving it to this, and this, we have no responsibility.
Would you like me to bring up the email now, or would you like me
Yeah,
to wait for
or
the next
you can just
session?
talk about it, or you can read the email, whatever you would like to do. I'm just saying I don't agree. So,
Okay.
and
Well-
that's why I don't agree. Yeah.
All I did was say in the email to give me for Jessie to give me an update. That's all I did.
No. Read the email, Jessie. That is not what I did.
It would be on the same, I directed Jessie to put this on the action item list instead of just talking it amongst us. That's what I asked Jessie to do. And so she did put it on the action item list. So that we have a list, not just us meeting and we go over what's priority and not priority,
70-inch screen for next year.
but
A what?
70-inch screen for next year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty tiny. Yeah, I guess I just never, with working with the district, I've never seen a problem with, how things have gone. It's always been that the board focused on board stuff and the office focused on office stuff, and lately it feels like it keeps getting talked about like there's some giant problem, with how things were previously running. But here's the email of the priority list, I believe that they, are talking about, but,
so then my question is, what's the point of the SEO?
I think the point of the SEO, to me, I don't know what made you suddenly decide that we couldn't work as a team. We
Because-
had been working together. You asked me, you never set priorities. You sent me an email asking me for priorities. We had been going on, we talked with Jessie. It was working very, very well. And she would tell us, you know, this has to go in here, but this will get done. And then suddenly, it was that, no, everything had to go through you. That Zoom meeting started out with, I read the personnel manual, I don't like what's going on, I don't like the emails that are going back and forth, and from now on, everything goes through me. That was
Wow.
it. So, you know,
It was-
I don't,
It wasn't said like that,
well,
but it, look,
it was,
it was that.
okay. I don't know why I'm being attacked, and that's the way I feel. I feel like I'm being attacked just trying to do my job as the SEO. If you want to go back to, you know, it was just feeling like whatever I suggested, you would push back, and I don't know. I've worked really hard, and all I wanna do is try to streamline the process so that we're not having multiple people and arguing about, or not even arguing, just, multiple people telling, Jesse and Clint what to do. I'm just trying to streamline it. If I'm off base, then I'm off base, and
I think the problem is that I'm struggling significantly to get the functions of the office done. I feel like I have to justify my job a lot. I have to beg to have time to train and justify why I need to train, and it's cumbersome. I shouldn't have to fight so hard to do my job.
I don't think you're fighting, Jess. We barely even talk. So
Well, there are a
it's,
lot of, like, I say, okay, I would like to train for the board meeting coming up. Clint needs to learn these items. And then it's followed up with, well, I'm coming into the office anyway. We're going to get El Dorado set up on the computers that day. And it's like, well, no, I need to do board members. I need to do board prep stuff. And it's, no, I'm coming into the office
that's
Monday.
not, that's.
Yes, it is. I have the email.
I have the email
And I would
too,
like to
Jess.
yes, okay.
I have the
well,
email.
then
You said,
I am struggling significantly to do my job. And if you
Because-
would like to be in the
because-
office and do the job, then you can come into the office and do the, I've never had to fight so hard to do my job.
oh my God, that's so dramatic. Come on, Jess.
It's not dramatic.
We barely.
And then you tell me you're coming in anyway, and then you call me and you say, well, can I come in on Wednesday? It's, no, I said that I have to train Clint. It's
No,
like,
that's not what I said. I said to you, I said, can you not interrupt me when I'm talking? I said to you, how are you doing with training Clint on the, on this meeting? Do I have an opportunity to come in? I ask you, I don't tell you. The reason why I was gonna come in Monday was, yes, to try to get the billing on your laptop. You said, no, I need my laptop. I said, okay, then that's fine. And then Tuesday, I said, how's it going? Do you think I'll have time to come in Wednesday to work with Clint on the ER? And you said, no, and I said, okay. I don't know where that's hard. I don't know where that's being so, like, oppressive to you, when I just ask a question.
All right, can I say something here? I want to speak up to break this. From my view on Bayview Water Sewer District Board, we are the board. We are the board. We will be assembled. We have people who run the day-to-day business of the Bayview Water Sewer District, and that has always been Jesse. I think Jesse's doing a fine job. Whether we need more people so things can get done is another, maybe that needs to be looked at. I don't think so. I think things are running fine on the board with the administration part of the board being enacted by Jesse training Clint. I look at the board members ourselves as just to make the decisions, yes or no, left and right, up and down.
Right.
So you're saying that this would then be to take our left, right, up, down, as we decide as the board, and we're to give them to you as an SEO, and you will administer them. But then that puts you in the administrative position when we already have an administrative person of the Bayview Water Sewer District. The payroll, I mean, yes, we have signatures and such that we sign. I'm afraid of this becoming too much of a bee's nest if we're going to make everything go through you to be then handled to her, which I understand what you're saying and where you're going. I do understand that. It's very hard right now because we're going to be spending $3 million plus, and we're going to have people in this town, and they're going to be digging up stuff, and we're going to have questions from the customers left and right asking what's going on, and we need to have somebody here that can answer those questions and administer the Bayview Water Sewer District. I applied by running for office. I didn't apply by a job resume. I mean, so to speak, yes, I kinda did. But the SEO, the way you're reading it, which I do kind of disagree in a small part, I understand what you're trying to get to, is more, from the way this is written right here, it's more of, we want somebody to come in and manage the office and the workings of Bayview Water Sewer District, when we already have somebody who's doing that, and that's Jesse.
Okay, well, I'm just going by the resolution. I didn't make this.
Yeah.
It's the resolution. That's
I think
all.
the problem here, Ally,
I just
is,
wanna cool-
yeah, go ahead.
Cool down.
The problem is that, and I will use the schedule for a very good example. What this says is the 3 things that you are supposed to do, and unfortunately, I believe that you have exceeded your authority given here, because instead of overseeing, but you said what this says you should do, you should oversee, yes, we should set priorities, the board should set them, and you present them to these people. You don't get involved,
No.
that does not, well, then, so what was the deal with the schedule? That had nothing to do with overseeing Jessie, that was a work product that she and I had created for the district, and that's my problem with this,
Okay.
is that you seem to read into this, that you not only have authority to manage them and make sure that their priorities are set as the board sees them, but you suddenly now, you get to, if you don't like the way she did a schedule, you take it off. No, that's not what this says, so
Okay.
that's my objection. And
Okay.
if you would limit to this, I would be very happy. But what's happened, it has not been limited to this, and it has created some,
Well, I wish you would have called me and talked to me about it. 'Cause
I
we
didn't need, you're the one that made the decision.
No,
You could call
we
and
have
talk
been
to
friends
me.
for a year and a half, Colleen. You could have just talked to me. That's all. You could have just talked to me. And you could have,
I
we
would
could
have
have,
liked to talk to you, but the emails that you were sending and the Zoom meeting, just, there was no other way to take it, is that I was not to be involved. I will do it, it will go through me, and when I started questioning, you said, you don't even have to do that, that's not your business, this is my job, don't you be concerned about it.
I didn't say it
So-
that way. I didn't say it that way, but that's here and there.
That is the way.
Colleen, let me just say, when you got upset because I said, maybe Colleen, maybe Jessie should only have one person, to in that
That is
email.
not what I got
No,
upset
okay,
about. I got
okay.
upset
Oh, you don't
because
interrupt
you
me
told
just like-
me to bug off.
Why do you interrupt me when I'm speaking? So you said to me, I said in the email, please call me. Let's talk real time. Sorry, that doesn't work for me. So I had nobody to go to talk this over with. I didn't know you felt like that. You wouldn't speak to me. So every time I kept on saying, please call me, please call me. No. I said, can you meet with me? No. Can we meet at Ralph's? No, we can't. Can I come to your house? No, you can't come. So I'm at a loss. I don't know, why you're upset, because you won't tell me. And so
I just told you.
you just told me now, but you didn't tell me before. But the thing is, what I'd like to see happen is that you and I get on. We've always worked together. We have always been a team.
You made it very clear at that meeting, there was no team anymore. You told her, you told me. I tried to have a discussion with you in that meeting, Ally, and you said, don't you even worry about it, that's my job. I will determine what is done, and you do not need to worry about it.
Colleen,
And then,
Colleen, it wasn't
and
said
then you
like that.
call me and say, we've been a team. No, no.
Well, people have disagreements, and, if you can't communicate and talk about it, then, I literally went and said, please talk to me, and even I told Ted, she won't talk to me, how can I get things resolved if she won't talk to me? So, I guess, I didn't understand what you were saying, you didn't understand what I was saying, but the only way to resolve that is to have a conversation. And I wish you would. It really breaks my heart that you are so upset with me, and because we work so well together. And this, to me, this is now dysfunctional, and
I'm sorry, I don't wanna interrupt you, go ahead.
and so if we could take some time, I've always been receptive to how you feel, well, that, I don't know why you made that face, but we've always worked well together, that, Colleen.
We did up until the point, and I don't know what, somehow, whether it's power or what happened, you completely changed. And I am a fiduciary, okay? You are too, everybody in this
Mhm.
room is. For some reason, you changed entirely. You put me on notice, you put her on notice, that everything goes through you, and you will deny that again, but that's exactly what was said at that meeting. I tried to discuss that with you, and you said, you don't even need to be concerned about that, it's my job, and I will do it. Okay? That puts me, and then the next thing I knew, you had gotten yourself involved in the schedule stuff and done something that to me is extremely questionable as a fiduciary. I will not comment, I mean, I
Well,
cannot
let's hope you don't.
say, I cannot say how that would be looked at in the light of a fiduciary, but it certainly showed a shocking lack of judgment. And so, I work, my responsibility is to this district. And when I saw you do that, you did not come to me, you said, well, why didn't you call me? You should have called me. You took action. And as a fiduciary, I am, and you just read my resignation letter. As vice chairman, I will not be involved in that type of situation.
Well,
And that's what I see your management style has become. And that's all I'm gonna say.
is that all you're gonna say?
Okay, well, no.
So in reviewing the personnel policy manual, I'm trying to get back to the agenda items for the SEO functions. I don't know if maybe some of the items.
We
we're
have
discussing
reviewed
are-
it, so we've
Yeah.
done that.
I was gonna say, I don't know if maybe some of the items we're discussing should maybe be done in
I think
in
so
an
too.
executive session,
And-
so.
And Ted, did you have anything to say?
No,
Okay.
I know that we need a functioning board.
Yes.
And I think we have a functioning board. And this is not unusual for a board situation to come up like this. I'm sure that people do have different views, but we need to unite as a board and get this job done. It's a big job. It's the biggest job that Bayview has ever tackled.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know what they. It's gotten very personal, and it can't.
Right. I totally agree.
So we need to work it out. I'm not a mediator by any means, but it's
Yeah.
gotta be done.